Okay. Can you see this one, Samir? Yes. Can you see the screen, the sharing of the document? Assalamualaikum. Very good afternoon. Yes, no?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, good. Okay, so first of all, yeah, I'm sorry because I actually already uploaded this tutorial 6 last week, yeah, but I forget to show it, so it's hidden. So I just noticed that the tutorial has been hidden this morning, this afternoon, actually, basically. So that's why you can just see it today. But anyway, we try our best to discuss slowly the question, the answers, yeah, of this tutorial 6. All right, so okay. So before we start, I just would like to remind, because I've looked at your project 1, basically, just the one group, WhatsApp group, the one that do the WhatsApp group, maybe in this class, I don't know, this tutorial. So please submit to me, the project group that has reviewed the WhatsApp, application. Can you submit to me the project member's name plus the metric number, yeah? So, I mean, you have to make sure when you submit the report, you put all the project members' name together with the matrix number, yeah, please. If not, that is quite difficult for me to do the marking for you. All right, okay. So that is my concern, yeah. All right. The others are quite good, except that some of you, when you do the projects, yeah, you make sure when you try to write the functional requirements, the quality requirements, make sure that you write in the proper, following the requirements pattern lah, syntactic requirement pattern that we have studied in class. Yeah, the system should be able to do this. Yeah, so follow the 3 types that is actually recommended for you to follow to make sure that the functional requirements and the quality requirements are according to the standard. It's not what we call ambiguous, or the elements should be clear, for the functional requirements as well as for the quality requirements, the others are quite okay lah, the features you can put in general because it's higher level, right? If you want to put in the proper format, it's okay, fine, but most important, your functional requirements, and your quality requirements has to follow the format that we have discussed in class, okay? That is my emphasis. All right, so all right. So next week, you have to submit to me the projects 2. Make sure that you submit to me 3 elements. Yeah, I've said again. The first one is your project reports. The second one is the slides of your presentation, and the third one is your recorded video presentation. Yeah. So that means one of you, or maybe a group of you, you have to create the video presentation. Yeah, within up to 20 minutes. Yeah, and then submit to me the recorded presentation, because I have to also assess, besides the report, I also have to assess your presentation skill. So it's very important that you submit together. So this, in the submission, you have 3 files lah, basically, the files for the reports, the file for the slides, as well as for the slide, the file for your video presentation. Okay, is that clear? All right, Zamir, okay, clear? Kishore? All right. So can we discuss tutorial 6, on the the topics of validation and negotiation? All right, so you have the chance to do it. Thank you so much for the collaborators. Okay, so we said that number 1, to set up a suitable basis for further development activities, the requirements document, and the emphasis on the requirements document should be checked for certain quality criteria, which 2 of the following qualities belong to the quality aspects of the content. Content of the quality requirements document should be, you answered completeness and consistency. Very good. I would agree with you. So the requirements document should be complete as well as consistent. The requirements within it should be consistent, not conflicting. Between the requirements, in the requirements document. So the A and D qualities are the most important. For the requirements document. Thank you. Great. All right. So how about number 2? Anyone? Zamir, can you read for me number 2?
Yes, doctor.
Louder, Zamir.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. Can you read for me number 2?
Yes, doctor. For the number 2 is, which of the following principles should you adhere to in an inspection and which not? So for the statement A, strict compliance to the predetermined inspection process. So the adhere to, which is ticketed. For the statement B, strict separation of the roles of the moderator and the reader.
Mm.
The answer is do not adhere to. So the statement C, individual preparation of the participants. So the adhere to. So the answer is adhere to. And the last one, the statement D is the separation of identification and correction of errors. So the answer is adhere to.
Thank you, Zamil. You agree with the answers? All the answers given. You agree?
I agree of this question, doctor.
All right. Thank you, Zamil. Okay, so for the principle number 1A, strict compliance with the predetermined inspection process. Yeah, so this is a good principle that we have to follow. Yeah, we have to comply because we have the inspection is a more on formal process. Yeah, to review the requirements usually. So of course, yeah, we have to follow strictly the process of inspection. That one, yeah, is important. B, strict separation the roles of moderator and the reader. This one is not so much, critical, not so much crucial, because sometimes due to the lack of numbers, manpower that we have, yeah, we might want to assume certain moderator to also assume the role of reader. Yeah. So we can at least combine that. They can important to separate the roles. Basically, yeah, some of the roles can be combined due to the lack of manpower. All right. So I would agree. Yeah, B is we not necessarily need to adhere to this principle. The C, individual preparation of the participant is very, very important. Yeah, for the inspection process, especially, you have to do the homework, you have to do the preparation to ensure that you already check. Yeah, because it's time consuming sometimes. Yeah, so the individual preparation of the participants are very, very crucial to ensure the successful implementation of the inspection process. Okay, C, we should adhere to it. Yeah. And then D, the separation of the identification and correction. Yes, this is also one of the important principles in our review. So that means we shouldn't be able to join this together. It should be separated between the identification errors, the identification of errors and the correction of the errors. Usually we can also separate this job into two, being given to two different people, because identification is a different process. Sometimes you have to also ensure what is the source of these errors and so on, and then ensure perfectly, whether these errors are really errors or not, before we can actually do the correction, So this principle is crucial, to separate between identification and correction of errors. Okay, thank you, Zamir. That's good. Okay, let's see number 3. Okay, number 3. Anyone want to read for me this one? Sorry if I call the same people, Kishore, can you read for me this one?
All right, doctor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, number 3, just read the question.
Okay. So a company produces supplier parts for the automotive industry. The management has decided to make the company's product catalog available on their website and to create the possibility of direct web-based online orders. This option had been particularly demanded by one important major customer. The company has started a corresponding development project. Now, the requirements specification has been finished. The project manager wants to have the specification checked using a walkthrough. As reviewers, she chooses 4 staff members of the testing department who have not been involved in the creation of the requirements document. Given these circumstances, decide for the following project manager's decisions whether they are appropriate or not.
Thank you, Kishore. So the first one, the statement say the timing the project manager chose for the walkthrough, is it appropriate or not? At this time, after they finish their specification, is it appropriate to do the walkthrough? You said appropriate. Yes, yeah, basically, yeah, of course, this is a good timing. After you finish, you need to find out if there are any errors, any loopholes, yeah, anything that is missing, yeah, from the requirements document, yeah, or the requirement specification. So basically, this is the appropriate time, yeah, and you just finish the requirement specification. So I will agree with you. And the second statement, the review method that been chosen is the walkthrough. It is appropriate. Anyone want to say why is this appropriate to use the walkthrough? Aiman, do you have anything you want to say? This is appropriate. Why?
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah. Do you think this is appropriate? The review method should be walkthrough. You know, walkthrough is
I think it is.
It's the less formal than the inspection lah. Walkthrough is in between, yeah, between the less checkup, normal review, and walkthrough is in between. They don't have specific process, but it's in the middle lah, between the inspection process, which is very strict, very formal, and the other kind of reviews like checking and document and so on. So walkthrough is in the middle. So they choose walkthrough. Do you think this is appropriate?
I
Why?
think it is appropriate because the people that doing the walkthrough is people that don't involve with the requirements. So
Yeah.
they need to, they have like they don't really involve much in the project, so they don't really have like the whole view of the project details.
Yeah, I will agree with you. Yeah, another reason that you might say is that because this is based on the web-based online orders, yeah, it's not the what we call safety system or critical system, or like the banking system, or the something that really is to do with very critical system. That one, of course you need to do a more proper review, like the inspection, to ensure that there is no mistake at all. Yeah, so walkthrough is in between, yeah, for the business systems, you might want to just make use of walkthrough because it doesn't need a lot of cost, and the cost is lesser, and also appropriate for more, what we say, less, it's not so much on the crucial safety system lah, yeah. Okay, so that is another reason as well. Okay, thank you, Aiman. Okay, how about C? After the document walkthrough, a walkthrough is planned for the prototype of the user interface from the feasibility study. So they plan, after they do the walkthrough, they review the document, then they also plan for the prototype of the user interface. So do you think it's appropriate? Yeah, your friend said yes. Why? Anyone want to give the reason? Eng Sheng Hao? What do you think?
Yes, doctor, I think it is appropriate.
Why? Any reason?
Because user interface is very important in a project, and then we need to do the prototype also for the project. So I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, basically because of the system, yeah, because this is a web-based system that has a lot of interaction with the users. So when you try to develop that prototype, you can get the feedback directly, yeah, to improve on the interfaces. There is, for web-based online orders, the interface are the most important, basically, yeah. Yeah, so when besides, you see the document, you might not be able to visualize the requirement. When you actually give them the prototype, yeah, you can get better input or feedback, yeah, or feedback or comments, what to need to be improved, yeah, from the requirements. Okay, so that is also very, very, support lah, yeah, the need for having to develop for the prototypes of the user interface. Okay, so number 4. In this situation, the project manager has decided not to involve any representative of the major customer. And you say that is not appropriate, yeah? Yeah, I would agree. You have any reason for this one? Anyone? Liani, you have any reason for not to say that this step is inappropriate? Liani, are you there? Iliani, Nur Iliani. No, not clear, is it? Okay. Muhammad Hafiz, what do you think, Muhammad Hafiz? Muhammad Hafiz. Yeah.
Yes, doctor. Which one? Oh,
Yeah, D. You say it's inappropriate. Do you agree? The project manager has decided not to involve any representative of the major customer.
not sure, madam. I think it's appropriate.
Appropriate or not?
I think it's appropriate.
Why?
Maybe it is appropriate for the project manager to decide.
Is appropriate or not appropriate? Sorry, Hafiz, you said that again?
I think it's appropriate.
Is appropriate.
I think so.
Yeah, why?
Because I think the project manager can. I'm not sure, madam, actually.
It's okay. I would agree with your friend just now. He said inappropriate. Inappropriate not to involve the major customer. So if we agree that this step is inappropriate, why do you think it's inappropriate not to involve any rep? Should we include major customers into the walkthrough? We should, right? Why?
To ensure that the requirements are as per the customer's demand.
Exactly. Yeah, because they are the major customers. Yeah, their requirements should be satisfied. Yeah, so we should get their feedback first. That is the most important. Yeah, so in any situation, we should try to involve, especially major customers. Yeah, try to invite people, a representative from their side, to get what do they think about our systems. Yeah, that has been implemented, or even the requirements document. Yeah, what do they think of the requirements that we have gathered? Is it fitting or suitable for their needs lah? Yeah, for their needs basically. All right, thank you, Hafiz. Okay, how about number 4? Number 4. Okay, this one interesting. Anyone? Want to try this one? Hairil Azizi, what do you think of this one? Can you read for me number 4? Hairil. Sorry, I just choose from the list of your names that I can find. All right, can you read for me number 4, Hairil? Are you there?
Okay.
Yes.
For a navigation system to be applied internationally, a stakeholder demands a female voice only for the voice output. Another stakeholder considers this discriminating and demands a male voice in addition. Which of the following types of conflict described is conflict best?
Yeah, which type? They said value. You agree?
I agree.
Yeah. So if you have value conflict, yeah, one to have female, because they say this. If you choose male, it's like discriminatory. So another one the male. So this is like quite difficult, right? To have this kind of conflict. So which one do you think is the best way to resolve this conflict? I know the question is not here. Just ask. What kind of strategy that we can use to resolve this value conflict? Any solution that you can offer? Never mind. Thank you, Azizi. I know you have read very well. Thank you. Okay, I just asked Wong. Maybe Wong, what do you think? Wong Wei Liang, what do you think? What kind of strategy that we can use to resolve this value conflict? Not sure, Yana? Not sure? Anyone want to offer me? I mean, want to offer us how we can actually resolve this one? One fellow want to have a female voice, another one want to have voice, a male voice. So how will you resolve this one, do you think? Anyone? Kishore, what do you think?
Creative solution, because since both of them has different ideology, maybe we can come up with a new solution. Maybe provide both voices and the customer can choose which voice they want to hear.
Yeah, thank you, Kishore. For me, I would agree with you. Yeah, you can try to accommodate both. Yeah, it's quite difficult to actually get one, so you can actually try to accommodate both solution. One side have a female voice, another one the male voice. Yeah, so that if you have extra resources lah, you try to be able to accommodate both, because it's quite difficult to get the negotiation to just come up with one solution. Yeah, all right, thank you. Okay, how about number 5? Okay, number 5, you have a requirements here. You need to improve. You need to check whether it's adequate or not. Yeah, inadequate requirements or adequate requirements. And then if not adequate, you have to rewrite them to transform this requirement into requirements that could be objectively tested against an implementation to be measurable lah, basically. Yeah. So you want to assess, to validate the quality of the following requirements. Okay, let's see number A. The ATM should authenticate the card holder quickly. Do you think this is adequate or not? The words quickly here. Anyone?
I think it is inadequate because we cannot measure quickly.
Yeah, how do you improve on that one? Is it Hafiz who is talking? Yeah, thank you.
It's Amar.
Sorry? Who is that? I just know your name. Who is that? Sorry, say louder.
Amar.
Amar, thank you, Amar. Okay, so you say it's inadequate. How do we improve that one, Amar? Quickly, how can we make it more measurable?
Put some units, maybe like how like millisecond, how many milliseconds?
Yeah, so the ATM should authenticate the card holder in 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Yeah. So you have to put some measure that. Yeah, so that will be more measurable. I mean, at the same time, you can test it later on, and you can actually assess whether you can fulfill or not these requirements. Yeah, the test cases can be created based on the measurable requirements. Yeah, rather than this kind of quite ambiguous requirements. Yeah, especially when you try to use all these words like quickly. Okay, thank you. All right, how about B? Someone want to type, so you can mention that. You can type directly here. The ATM should authenticate the card holder in 60 seconds, or 20 seconds, based on the what we call the how the capability of that systems. All right, how about B? The system shall be certified to be compliant with the Americans Disabilities Act. You think this is adequate?
I think it is adequate.
Right, because
the act is polluted.
Exactly, yeah, you have already specified the act, yeah, so it's much easier to be assessed lah, yeah, later on, yeah, you have to comply with this act. So B is adequate, right? How about C? The word processors user interface should be intuitive to the new user. This is adequate or not? The word which is a little bit blurry there is intuitive, yeah. So you are not actually clear, yeah. This one is usability, yeah. Specifically, the quality of learnability. Learnability. What is the period of time in which the user can learn about the systems, about the new systems, yeah. So we can improve on the learnability of the systems lah by saying, for example, after 20 minutes, after 2 hours of use with this word processor, the new user should be able to correctly use the system features or 90% of the system features. Can we say that? Yeah, so it can be more specific. Yeah, you have to put some measure there at the same time. Yeah, but I just say intuitive is very, very high level, very subjective, and it's quite difficult for you later on to create the test cases. Yeah, to test these kind of requirements as well. All right, so you get it. After you can mention that after a certain period of time, yeah, after 2 hours of use with this word processor, the new user should be able to correctly use the system features, 90% of the system features, you can say. Yeah, so that is more straightforward and very measurable, yeah, as the quality requirements. Okay, improve on C. How about D? How about D? The new bank transaction system should be able to handle our expected traffic for the next 5 years. This is adequate or not? Zamir, this is adequate or not?
Maybe not adequate.
How do you improve that one?
So the bank transaction should
the new bank transaction system shall be able to handle how many transactions per hour?
Maybe about 20.
Or maybe 1,000 or maybe 100 transactions per hour.
Maybe about thousands.
Which is our projected load lah for the next 5 years. Yeah, can? Yeah, so put some measure there. Yeah, so the new bank transaction system shall be able to handle 1,000 transactions per hour. Yeah. Yeah, which is our projected load lah for the next 5 years. Okay. Good. How about E? In the first 3 months of operation, the system shall be available for 98% of the time between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Is it adequate?
Adequate.
Adequate, thank you. Because the availability, we mentioned about the percentages. Thank you. All right, how about F? The air traffic control shouldn't crash. And if it does, it should be able to reboot immediately. So this one is adequate or not? Obviously no lah kan. Okay, so you're talking about the average lifespan, or you're talking about the mean time to failure. How long does this system can be able to go to function, yeah, before it can be crashed. So basically you're talking about the another word we say that the mean time to failure of this ATC system should be how many periods? What is the lifespan of this system before it need to be reboot, for example? And it should be reboot immediately. Also, it's not a good word because it's very ambiguous there. So it should be reboot within 2 seconds or within 2 minutes. You can mention that as well. So the first one, the air traffic control shouldn't crash. So that is not acceptable. And the way that you try to say that in our software engineering term, we say that the mean time to failure of this ATC system, that particular ATC system should be, for example, should be like 480 hours or 4,000 hours, within a month. It should be functionable. It should be able to function at least 4,000 hours before the next maintenance within a month. Yeah, so you should mention that clearly. You get it? But if it crashes, it should reboot automatically within 1 minute. For example, here, automatically, sorry. So you mentioned the lifespan of the system, yeah, before it's going to be within a certain period of time, yeah. How it can function, how long it can function, yeah, without failure, without crash. Okay, so that's what usually the metric we use is the mean time to failure, yeah. And then you mentioned within how many hours, yeah. So that means how long can it last, yeah, before you need some maintenance, process lah after that, yeah. So we mentioned that, yeah, the mean time to failure of this system shall be 480 hours a month, yeah, under 1,000 standard workload, for example. And if it crashes, it should reboot automatically within 1 minute. Examples, yeah, of the refinement that we can do, to make sure that the requirements are more adequate and understandable, lah, yeah. You can follow, yeah, this one. Hisham, okay?
Yes, doctor.
Number 6. Number 6, we try to identify problems. Try to identify problems of redundancy, conflict, understandability, or completeness, yeah, from the following 5 requirements that we have mentioned here for the Addis library systems, and give appropriate recommendation for each identified problem. So can you find any redundancy between these 5 requirements? You find any redundancies? Anyone? Can see this one, right? The 8.1 here, the user interface will be HTML. This one as well, users will communicate through the HTML interface. Are they redundant?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can take out one of them, yeah? Okay, maybe the first sentence here can be, the 8.1 first sentence can be taken out. Right. Yeah, can take it out, okay? Okay, any other problems? Any conflict between the requirements? Eight one said that the users should access via the web browsers. The users, and then another one, the users can also input to Addis via the HTML interface. So the users, according to 8.1, the user can access Addis through standard web browser, and then another one, 11.2, you said that the user can input via the HTML interface. Any conflict? Is there a conflict? Oh, sorry. And this one, yeah. So it's a kind of conflict, right? So you can see different things, yeah. So you might want to choose or take out one of them, yeah. Whether the users can access or or you can both browser at the same time, also HTML. Yeah, then you resolve the conflicts. Right, or you can say just one of them. The user can only access through the standard web browser. Yeah? Yes or no? Yes, that one is internal conflicting. Okay, how about the completeness? Anything that you find is incomplete? Anything from the requirements which is some ambiguity there, incomplete, that doesn't specify something? Anything between these 5? Yes. Anyone? Fahad? These are more information.
I think 11.2.
Mm-hmm.
We could specify more about what kind of user input will be given to the editors
Right.
through the HTML interface. Yeah.
For
so
example,
maybe we can
say what? User input will be?
like username, password, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Even when they said about web browser also is inadequate, right? Why? Because he just mentioned about web browser. Right now we have so many versions of the web browsers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can specify the versions lah. Yeah, that you can help to be more specific. Yeah, yeah, what versions? Yeah, that can be used. Yeah, web browser. Okay, any other things that is incomplete for 11.3 over here? Any incomplete things that they mentioned? The print output will mainly be documents which, because of copyright restriction, must be printed and deleted immediately upon receipt. The email output will be documents, messages from the system, and other output. So is there any missing thing that you need to clarify? Anyone? So when you say the print output will mainly be documents, is there any other document? Is there any other output beside documents? Possible, right? Because he said the print output will mainly be document. Mainly, one part mainly is document. There can be other output. So the output, does it mention here? No, it doesn't mention. Yeah, so that is the incomplete as well. Yeah, so to make it complete, you have to mention the other output type. So if you don't want to say this, the output will just be documents. So you take out lah. This one will, so that means the print output will be documents only. No other types of documents. Yeah, only documents. Sorry, no other types of output except documents. So it's complete. Yeah, if you say will be mainly document, so you expect some other, yeah, because the mainly to specify other kind of output, right, for this system. Not so good, yeah, at least it's for our practice, yeah, basically. So you try to find the redundancy just now that we try to identify the HTML and the two, 8.1 and 11.2, sorry, 8.1 and 11.1 HTML, and then we also identify the conflicts, yeah, that can be accessed by the web browser as well as the HTML interface. So you try to resolve whether it can be accessed by both, web browser as well as the interface, and then you also mentioned about the completeness just now. When you use the main just now, so you specify that the output can be mainly, so that means there can be some other types of output. So if you take out the main, then you say the output can only be documents. So it's more complete, it's more clearer. Okay, another one that we mentioned is that he mentioned so much, the requirements mentioned so much about HTML, web browser in general. So it's not recommended. You have to put specifically the versions and so on to make it more specific. All right, so I think that's about the tutorials. Any comments on this one? You improve on the requirements. Please apply it as well for your project 2. Make sure you put the requirements in the proper way, more measurable as well, especially for your functional requirements and the quality requirements. Okay, that is important.
Doctor, I would like to ask regarding our SRS.
Yes.
You have reviewed and emailed me, right? So in that email, you state that enhance the following requirements, and you have listed about 5 requirements. So does that mean we have to only correct those 5 requirements? How about the other requirements?
That one is obvious lah. But most of the requirements that you mentioned, the functional requirements and the quality requirements, please follow the format of the requirement syntactic pattern. But sometimes you mention terms like what we call this term that you have, reflection.
Yes.
So it's not clear what you mean by that.
Yes, it's
most of you have to differentiate between the what we call what the system is supposed to do with the real existing work. I mean, because the one that people are doing, we are doing, actually we know, we meet, for example, we do the discussion, that this is outside, but the system, what the system can provide, because I find that many of you get confused because you mentioned, for example, the rider should be able to deliver. Deliver is something outside. It's not about the system. What are the services that the system can provide to the rider? So the one that is been as a because we are information service. When we offer certain services within the system, what the system can do, don't complicate yourself with what the existing world can do. That is two different things. Or maybe some can have some similarities, but the one that is outside, the people reflect with the one that you want to offer as a service can be two different things. You try to differentiate because you are developing a information system, a system. So you are based services, So delivery, the rider can deliver. Deliver is something that is being done in the outside world. So what you can offer to the rider? These are services from your system. What the system can do? It can help the user in. So it's all the services being provided. It's not something that in the real world the people can manage things whatever. But you try to make to help how the system can help that fella in terms of doing that, rather than take the services outside and become your services inside the system. You know what I'm trying to say? So some of you might have that confusion. So you try to clarify the thing, and if you use all the big term there, you have to put in the glossary lah, because I don't know what you mean by reflection. What is basically in your system, what is supposed to do? Okay. All right. So you discuss with your group members. Try to clarify. What are the services that your system can provide?
So when we say reflection, it is vague. So can we say something like the system shall provide the user a summary of the.
You try to be specific. What are the things that the system can do? You discuss with your members. I'm sure you can come up with better understanding of that. All right. Can Kishore discuss with them? try to differentiate between what is happening in the real world and what you can offer through the system. Okay. Okay, I hope it. Hope you can discuss with members, yeah, to get a clearer ideas. Okay, I think
Right,
that's
Doctor.
all. Anyone?
As for the presentation,
Sorry, at the presentation.
yes, Doctor.
Yes, Kishore. Yes. What is your question again? What is your question again? Sorry, Kishore.
Uh, Doctor, regarding the presentation, regarding the presentation,
Yes.
regarding the presentation, since it's only about 10 minutes,
You have for 10 minutes. No, you can go up to 20 minutes. No problem. Is it okay, Kishore? What is your question again?
no, I mean, since the presentation is about like 10 to 20 minutes. So for the presentation, can we focus mainly about the introduction of the system, the requirements? We focus mainly on the features and the requirements instead of focusing on the software, the hardware, the communication interfaces. So we focus more on the what is the system about and what does the system provide to the users.
Exactly. That's what I want as well.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Any questions? Any other questions? All right. So please, you have a last lecture next week, yeah. And then we have you have to submit, and then you have the quiz as well. Yeah. Please take the quiz as usual. Make sure you try first attempt, yeah, please, everyone. And then if you have any questions, email to me. Yeah. Any questions, you try to email to me. And ensure that when you submit, one of you, the project leader will submit the projects and make sure that you put all your members' name together with the matrix number on the first page lah, basically, yeah, to make sure that I will have a proper marking, yeah. I don't want to miss anyone's any member, yeah, of your team, yeah, because that will be very bad, yeah, to include anyone from the group members from the group. Okay. So if you have any question, please email to me, yeah, immediately, yeah, because the results will be, at least for the first half, the result will have to be up, yeah, at least by week 14, and then the other half will be after your ni lah, yeah. So basically, I will try to put up the marks, yeah, for the first half, yeah, by the end of week 14, yeah, at least, yeah, so that you will have whatever lah, yeah. But make sure some of you as well, I don't want to miss any one of you inside the projects. Make sure that you are already in the group, yeah. Make sure you're already in the group, yeah. And that's why I want the leader to ensure that you put all the members' name. I don't want to miss anyone, yeah, so that later on you don't have the part for the project, because the project carry a lot of weight as well. Okay, thank you so much, yeah. Yeah, see you next week, inshallah. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.